What's ho ho happening, Captains? It's me, truly the dumbest. And today is December 26th, the day after Christmas. And today, for our Christmas week, I thought for day 3, why not do something a bit interesting, something not a lot of people I'm sure have thought of, right? And of course, as you saw by the title, these are skins I think, or collabs I think would work really well as skins, rather than their own chapter or killer or paragraph or whatever. So, you know, not a whole lot to build up to it. So let's just jump right into it, right? Let's just do what we usually do, not have anything to say, not realize until afterwards, and then jump right into it. All right. So to start, I'm gonna start with the I think the prime example of a collab that would be much better as a skin rather than its own chapter, and that is Chucky and Tiffany, or Child's Play, in placement of the twins. I think that when it comes to powers for Chucky, you really can't do a whole lot considering his small size. Um, and honestly, if you really think about it, Chucky and Tiffany is perfect, or replacing or twins is perfect. It's the perfect Child's Play power, right? You can have Tiffany holding Chucky. Whenever you want to call out Victor or Chucky, she throws him out, and he runs around with a knife in his hand. I think it's the perfect character swap, really. Um, and for their weapon, you could have Tiffany Switchblade, or yeah, Switchblade. You can have her. You can have Tiffany in her like wedding dress that she uses at one point. You can have her in the weird outfit that she uses or she has at the start of Bride of Chucky. You can have her in her doll outfit, but just human size. You can have her in any of the outfits from the show. There's so much possibility with outfits with her. It's actually really weird how many outfits she has in such a short amount of time. But nonetheless, for Chucky, of course, you could have like just any version of Chucky would work. And I know I heard that it was that was it Victor technically counts as a separate model from Charlotte, or Victor counts as her power, and not the character model. So I don't know how hard it would be to change the model of Victor. Um, but I think this is such a good. This is like such a perfect combination. I think they should try to go for it either way. And of course, you can't really do Chucky justice or Tiffany justice without voice lines. I think you'd have to have some voice lines in there too. I mean, they've done they've done voice lines for characters that don't have. Well, no, I mean not characters that don't have voice lines, but they've done separate voice lines. Like with all the Resident Evil skins, they have voice lines for all that stuff, and between different versions of characters with different actors and stuff. So I think they could make it work. I think that's a total possibility that it can work. So yep, that's the first one. Chucky and Tiffany on top of twins. I want to try to stick with twins on this one. Basket Case. I think Basket Case is another great possible little collab that would work for twins. Basket Case is such an obscure movie, but it's also kind of like a cult classic in the horror community. I'm sure most people watching this would probably know what Basket Case is, but for those who don't, basically what it is you have the main character. I don't remember any of the names of these characters, or I remember the actual monster, but you have the main character and Belial. Belial is a little shit that sits on his chest because it's a conjoined twins at birth thing, exactly like Charlotte and Victor, may I add. And Belial is removed, but survives the removal. So the main character kind of just carries him around in a basket the whole time. So yeah, I don't. Now that I think about it, I don't know what kind of weapon you could use for it. Uh, Something I'm sure you can find something to use as a weapon, but obviously in place of Victor you can have Belial, which you can just replace the screams, because while those screams are so loud, I'm sure it does not matter how much audio is in the scene while he's screaming. You can just rip it straight out of the movie and it'd be fine. And then in place of Charlotte, you can have the main character, and like I said, I don't know what weapon he would be. And this one I don't think we need voice lines. No one, there's no like iconic lines or anything coming out of this. It's mainly you just know it for Belial itself. So yeah, that's really it for that one. Not as much to add on it. So moving on to a bit of a basic one, but also something I think would work well. And that's the chainsaw guy from RE4. I think the chainsaw guy for RE4 would be an absolutely just. It would be kind of simple and kind of basic, but I think it'd be a pretty fun addition as a skin, kind of in the same vein as Hunk, for the Legion's Hunk skin. And obviously, of course, you have, replacing the Billy, like, cause body. You have the actual chainsaw guy body. I don't know. Again, I don't know what weapon for this one. It's been a minute since I played RE4, and I don't think they use, or the chainsaw guy uses a weapon. Maybe you can rip one of like the pitchforks or something from the actual villagers that were infected with the Las Plagas. You know, whatever floats their boat, I guess. But I think specifically chainsaw guy from RE4 for Billy, because we don't have a lot of RE4 representation. Yeah. So you have the Leon bomber jacket, which is awesome. I'm happy they have that because that's still his best skin in the whole game, which is awesome. Yeah, which is awesome. But I don't know. I think we could use a bit more killer representation. We don't really have a whole lot beyond just the Leon cosmetic. I know originally they were going to have a Las Plagas add-on for Wesker, but then they changed it to Ouroboros, the Ouroboros add-on. So I just thought it would be nice to get some more RE4 up in here. And no, that's pretty much my reasoning for it. So let's move on again to let's go with a bit of a little bit of a what the people in the business like to call right out of left field moment. I think the thing would work fantastic for Greg. I know a lot of people want to see the thing as a chapter, and I understand that. I'm sure he can have a really cool ability, but I think he would honestly work way better for a skin for the Dredge. Sorry, I should have opened up with Dredge and switched it to Greg. I like calling the Dredge the Greg. Nonetheless, I think the thing would be an absolutely fantastic skin for the Dredge. Like, you could have a kind of conglomeration of every single monster in the movie. Just kind of throw it in there. It's like, oh, there's that head spider that I have on screen. Boom, throw it in there. You got the dog monster that I won't have on screen. Boom, throw it in there. You got the chest cavity monster thing that I won't have on screen. Bam, throw it in there. You can literally just take, even from the prequels, you could steal the monsters from and just throw it on there and just call it a Greg skin. I think that'd be absolutely perfect. And it would also be probably the scariest skin in the game. Just the thought of looking at that head spider crab on Greg, it actually terrifies me. And I kind of regret mentioning it, but I think it'd still be an awesome skin. And I think it'd be much better than giving it an actual chapter. Or not much better, but I think it'd be really nice. So, moving on from that, because there's not a whole lot to add, you don't really need to get into specifics about its cosmetic pieces. I'm going to get a quick, boring one out there. I think the Grudge for Onryo, that's obvious. I think that's obvious. Everybody's mentioned it. I just wanted to mention it so nobody brings it up. Now I'm going to go into a real far left field. This one is so far out of left field, you probably didn't even consider it. I think the Doomslayer would be a great Deathslinger skin. Now hear me out. Doomslayer, Deathslinger, that doesn't correlate. But think about it. So for his weapon, you can have the, I forgot the exact name. You can have the double barrel shotgun from Doom Eternal. It's got the little hook that you can grapple onto the Cacodemons with. So what you got? So for the weapon, you got for the spear gun, you got the shotgun. And then for his actual weapon, since there's no bayonet on the super shotgun, and I don't think they would implement like an actual gun, you can have his wrist blade from Doom Eternal as well. So you'd shoot with the gun, reel him in with like his hands or something, because that's something he would do, and stab him with the wrist blade. I think that this would be so perfect. You can even you can change the chase music like they did for the God of Desire Trickster skin. So you're just running around to the classic Doom theme, just killing survivors. That would be actually a dream come true. And especially with it, I don't really think. Well, a lot of these ideas were killers that are like either iconic or just funny, or just just good additions, or something that would be a good addition. But you couldn't really figure out a way to add a unique power, and I think Doomslayer fits into this. Doomslayer, it's not necessarily a horror series, but Doom 3 is a horror game, so that's my excuse. Anyway, so moving on. Let's go with a bit of a funny one. This one was, I got this idea, I stole this idea from my friend. A lot of these ideas I stole from my friend, actually. Fornicus, the Lord of Bondage from Cabin in the Woods, I think would be a really funny Pinhead skin considering he's literally just a Pinhead ripoff. You know, like a Pinhead parody that they had in the movie for parroting Pinhead, obviously. I think it'd be really funny um, to have this in the game. Just kind of just random, nonsensical, but I think it'd be hilarious. You can even replace the box with a not cube, little sphere toy, little puzzle sphere that he's got. I don't think you'd have voice lines for him, but I think it'd still be funny nonetheless to have a Fornicus Lord of Bondage skin. Thanks to my friend who said a lot of these too. You know who you are. But yeah, not a whole lot. I guess you can just have like a saw blade chain as his weapon, obviously, and then you just have his head and then his body. So yeah, nothing super interesting to add, but I thought it was funny. So moving on. Let's go with a bit of a boring one, but a pretty funny idea nonetheless. I think for the Legion, New Year's Evil would be pretty funny. Such a weird and out there movie, but believe it or not, this movie released in 1980. This movie is so like, this is a movie you think would be like early 90s, like 91 or maybe like 80, 89 or something. This movie came out before Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, the original one. Like, how do you do that? That's so ridiculous. You know, it's like, you know, this is, I mean, technically one of the first ever, like, slashers. You know, not even, it's before Friday the 13th, so I thought, wouldn't it be funny if we could get it as a Legion skin? Well, my friend did. This is one of those I stole from him. But yeah, it's like, it's such a perfect idea. You know, you got the mask, you got a funny outfit, and you got the weapon, which is the little switchblade. I think, it's so perfect. I honestly can't believe that nobody's thought of this yet. This is absolutely hilarious. Such a funny idea. I mean, there's nothing really interesting about it, but it's funny. So, you know, moving on to another dumb, kind of basic but fun idea. My Bloody Valentine. Yes, Trapper does already have. Oh wait, I just read. Yeah, no, My Bloody Valentine for the Trapper. I mean, yes, he already does have a minor outfit. But you know, My Bloody Valentine is honestly one of those really iconic, like, kind of cult slashers. I think it'd be great, and so did my friend, because this is another one I stole from him. If I think it'd be great if they added him into the game. You know, as Trapper, it fit perfectly. He's already got a minor like skin, so he wouldn't have to update a whole lot, and he's a fairly iconic slasher. So you know, all those good reasonings for his weapon. Obviously, you'd have a pickaxe, and then for the actual like outfit, you would just have, you know, minor attire. So yeah. And so moving on to one that my friend adamantly asked for me to add. That is the Spider Splicer from BioShock as a Huntress cosmetic. Now, I haven't played BioShock. I have the whole series, but I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. But according to him, these things throw hooks. So, you know, for a weapon, obviously, you could have just a big old hook. Maybe for the hatchets too, if they can. Maybe it's the same issue with the twins cosmetics. Maybe, but if they can, you can have her throwing hooks. You know, and then obviously for the outfit, you would have the image that I'm using on screen. The little rabbit head would be cool, and then of course the body. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to add on this because like I said, I haven't played BioShock yet. But honestly, I agree with my friend. I think this would be a really cool addition as a little legendary cosmetic. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have here. So, you know. Oh, sorry, no, I have one more. I forgot to mention it. This is my final one, and this one might get me a lot of hate, but only 5 people watch these videos at a time anyway. So, you know, I think the Good Doctor from Fortnite would be a pretty good bike cosmetic. Maybe with some dirtying up, you know, some, I guess I'm going to call it gorification, you know, make it look scarier, a little more grimy. I think it would be a really good skin. I mean, they're both each game's take on the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So, yeah, I just think based off that alone, and the fact that it does have a cane that he could use as a weapon, this thing right here, I don't know the name of it, I think it would work well. Yeah. Now that I'm truly done, though, Um, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like some of these ideas I came up with. I tried to be a little bit out there with a couple of them. And of course, thanks to my friend for giving me ideas. You know who you are. Um, so, without further ado, without much else to say, I'm just going to end it here and say happy holidays. Did that rhyme well? I have no idea.